All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Productivity Academy live Q&A. This is number 42. Today is the 28th of June, 2018. And today we're going to be talking mostly about, as I try to read off to the side here, doing more about reaching goals when you're wasting time on procrastination. And then managing times if you have just a lot of tasks. So that was the main focus of today. And real quick, if you are watching in the group and you want to ask a question, you can just pop it in, obviously live. If you're watching this on YouTube and you want to stay up to date, you can just click subscribe below, or also you can come join the group in Facebook. It's a free group, but you do have to answer a few questions. Want to make sure that you actually want to join. But if you're looking for information about productivity, process, anything like that, app reviews, all this good stuff, then by all means come join us, and it's the right place for you to be. So let's get started today. The first question was, how can I do more to reach my goals? I am wasting too much time procrastinating and on tasks that sidetrack my project. Okay, so how can I do more to reach my goals and you're wasting too much time? So this is a good question. I think it happens to all of us, and having a good method to get out of this and back on track is really good. The first step is identifying this, okay? And so I'm not going to go backwards past that point, because you've already recognized, okay, I'm wasting a lot of time procrastinating and on tasks that sidetrack my progress. I call this like productive procrastination, when maybe you're like, oh, I'll go do the laundry, or I'll work on this other project, or I'll answer that email. And you're doing things that technically need to be done, but they're not critical. They're not moving your main projects forward. So you're at that step, which is good. So now it's taking a step back, and now just literally take 5 minutes. If you're at work, you're in an office environment, go for a walk, go somewhere else. If you can, just, sit there. But if you get weird looks, and, you feel uncomfortable, maybe go somewhere else, or you do this when you come home. And if you're at home like me, just go somewhere else, get out of your office, get out of your chair, and think or write down why. What's going on? What's the next project? What would help you? And I find that this helps because you start to see what you need to do, but also the benefits. Like why should you be doing this next step? And what's that going to get you? Okay, because there's two sides to this. There are the good and the bad. Why are you procrastinating? Are you scared? And it's not that you have to be terrified, but maybe you're scared. Oh, if I start this, I'm just scared to take that next step. I haven't done it before. You're scared of not doing a great job. There's lots of things that demotivate us or mentally sidetrack us. But getting down on paper and seeing the good things, what is it that you want to do? What's this project? What's the next step? And starting to make that concrete for a lot of people can drive you past that barrier, whatever it is. And I think doing this maybe regularly is good. Just taking that self-check and saying, hey, yep, I'm working, I've been productive, or really productive, like 80% of my time. That's pretty good. I'm not perfect, but maybe when you're looking, you're like, man, I spent like 3 hours doing just stuff I didn't need to do today. What's going on? And I think, that's the best you can do. But like I said, you have that plan to get back onto track, and that's looking at what can I do next? Like, refocus yourself on your goals. What are my goals? Do you have like a best self journal? Do you have a place where you're writing down what your big projects are, what your 90-day goals, whatever kind of plan you're using, and reminding yourself of those benefits. If I do this stuff, here's, the potential outcome. And then saying, okay, on the bad side, I'm procrastinating because I'm scared. How can I work past that? Do these benefits outweigh that fear, whatever it is? I think that that's a great way. And it does take some self-reflection. You got to be honest with yourself, or this process doesn't work. So that's the good and bad news. It can be relatively simple. But sometimes in the simplicity it can be difficult. So I think give that a shot, and that'll help you. Okay, and for the second question today, what are the best ways to manage time if there's a lot of tasks? Okay, this is really good. So this is what I do in the morning and in the evening. Most of the time, I'm not perfect about it. But as I go through my day, lots of things pop up. I either use a sticky note, if I'm on a call or something just comes to mind and I don't have like Todoist open, but maybe I'm on my phone and I pop stuff into Todoist, and by the end of some days I'll end up with this crazy list. And that's fine, right? It's that getting it out of your head so you're not remembering or trying to remember and just totally forgetting stuff. But then I'll go through and do that kind of like triage routine of at the beginning and end of every day saying, okay, what of these things actually needs to get done? And so prioritizing. Important, not important. And then going through, and you can batch like tasks, okay? And this is part of this process of saying, okay, which ones kind of go together? Maybe I wrote stuff down that's related, getting that all together so you have things prioritized and then related, and then going through and saying, okay, can I delegate any of these? Is there anything I can delete? Is there stuff that I wrote down that now that I look at it, you know what? It's not going to happen. It probably doesn't need to happen, and the world won't blow up if I don't do it. All right, because there's always stuff like that, and you got to be honest with yourself, and it'll help you focus in on the stuff that's truly important. And then the stuff that you have to do, you can get to work on. And I'm not going to go into the details of like project management or how you move that stuff in there, but getting and doing this on a regular schedule is part of. Don't wait until you have too many tasks that you feel overwhelmed. Do it on a regular basis. Start doing this every single day. Write yourself a reminder using your to-do list, your reminder software, whatever you use, to go through and do this. Take your tasks, prioritize, batch, and then go through the process of deleting the ones you can, delegate other ones, whether it's coworkers, whether it's outsourcers, your employees, your family, whatever it is, and then getting to work on the very most important ones for yourself. All right, and so that is my go-to. That's definitely part of my daily planning and my morning routine. And then, like I said, as well in the evening, and that's something I've added more recently as I trying to get out of using a to-do list in a more reactionary way, or just having it be the driver, and getting more into using a timeline as well. So like time blocking, using the best self journal, which I've been using for a long time, but getting out of kind of the mishmash of using several areas like a to-doist and a to-do list, trying to get all of those ideas out. And what it really helps me do is get like a to-doist list. I've got a ton of items, and then if I say I need to clear this out today, then taking all that and putting it into an appropriate area. And maybe I have to move to another app, like a project management app like Monday, where I'm putting in, I needed to add this email to this series. Well, that goes in this project. It needs to be done. And then coming down and seeing, wow, there's 5 things left in to-do-list. I don't have the time. I need to, I need to not choke. I need to either delete them or delegate them because I don't have the time and they're not the highest priority, and that really helps you narrow down. So hopefully that's helpful. Again, I would suggest using something like Todoist, a to-do app, and then also going through and using either time blocking, something like that to help you figure it out, whether it's the best self-journal, it's a piece of paper, whatever it is that does that for you. All right. Well, I don't see any new questions, so I think this is going to be a fairly short one. We'll wrap it up today, but those are some really good questions. If you ever have questions and you want to ask ahead of time, if you're not in the group, or even if you are and you just want to ask, it's a random day and you want to get your question in ahead of time, you can just go to productivity.academy/questions. All right, and then it's just a form. Just pop your answer in. Give me as many details as you can. 1 or 2 word answers don't work so well. If you say that your problem is productivity, that's pretty broad. The more details you give, the more we can dive in, maybe even recommend like apps, solutions, some detailed stuff. So fill that out with whatever your problem is or what you're looking for a solution for, and try to get it onto the next episode. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.